up in the back of the van he was driving, and also about whether he had fired either of the weapons that day. He eventually admitted that he reloaded the weapons and put them in the van after arguing with his mother and shooting his family. He didn't explain why he didn't carry out mass shootings at either Walmart or Calvary Chapel, as he had previously alluded to. 15-year-old Nehemiah Griego was booked into Bernalillo County Detention Center, where his parents had ministered for years on 2 counts murder and 3 counts child abuse resulting in death. New Mexico law required 15, 16, and 17-year-olds charged with murder to be automatically tried as adults, though he could not receive the death penalty or life without parole. Murderous Minors is brought to you by Away. Away creates thoughtful products designed to change how you see the world. They started with the perfect suitcase, crafted with features that make travel more seamless. A lightweight and durable shell that's made to last for a lifetime of travel. A 100-day trial lets you try any Away product on the road. A limited lifetime warranty means they'll fix or replace your bag if it ever gets damaged. With the holidays right around the corner, it's totally possible that you know someone who would really enjoy the gift of an Away carry-on. College kids, traveling parents, so many people in your friends and family circle could benefit from a piece of thoughtful and modern luggage. Both the original Away carry-on and the bigger Away carry-on have the same great features. 4 360-degree spinner wheels guarantee a smooth ride. A TSA-approved combination lock keeps your belongings safe. A range of unique personalization offerings, including hand painting, make Away carry-ons perfect for the holiday season. Visit awaytravel.com/warbaby and use promo code WARBABY for $20 off a suitcase that you can keep to enjoy or give away to make somebody really happy. You guys know how much I love my Away suitcase, and now is a great opportunity to get one for yourself or for somebody you love. If you want to be the best Santa ever, visit awaytravel.com/warbaby and use promo code WARBABY for $20 off a suitcase at checkout. Because getting away means getting more out of every trip to come. Following the murders, Nehemiah's uncle, the former state senator Eric Griego, released a statement on behalf of his family reading, "Our family is heartbroken over this senseless tragedy. We have not been able to comprehend what led to this incredibly sad situation. However, we're deeply concerned about the portrayal in some media of Nehemiah as some kind of monster. It's clear to those of us who know him and love him that something went terribly wrong. Whether it was a mental breakdown or some deeper undiagnosed psychological issue, we can't be sure yet. What we do know is that none of us, even in our wildest nightmare, could have imagined that he could do something like this. There's so much more to the Nehemiah we know than what the media is portraying. We know him as a bright, curious, and incredibly talented young man. He was a brother, nephew, grandson, and cousin. From the time he was a young boy, his father Greg supported his love for music. Thanks to his interests, practice, and natural ability, Nehemiah has become a very accomplished musician. He plays guitar, drums, and bass. For years, he has played at youth and other church services at Calvary and elsewhere. The idea that he was a loner has also been manufactured by the media and those who simply did not know him. He had many friends at Calvary, where he spent most of his free time playing basketball or music. Like his father, who was a champion wrestler and coach, Nehemiah also competed in wrestling tournaments throughout the state and country. His parents were always involved at Calvary, and Nehemiah shared their commitment to community service. He accompanied his father on missions to Mexico, where they helped local faith communities. He helped with Calvary's youth mission and played his guitar or drums whenever someone needed him, including his aunt's wedding. At home, he helped care for his younger siblings and the many animals the family kept. Like his great-grandfather, grandfather, father, and several aunts, uncles, and cousins who are either veterans or on active duty, he wanted to serve his country. Because of this long family tradition of military service, he wanted to enlist when he was old enough. He dreamed of attending NMMI and talked of studying engineering or history. The pictures of him being circulated in his dad's old fatigues were part of his interest in someday being a soldier. To be clear, our family has differing views on gun rights and gun control. What we do agree on is that those who wish to score political points should not use a confused, misguided 15-year-old boy to make their case. We ask those in the media and those who would use the media to make their political case to not use Nehemiah as a pawn for ratings or to score political points. He's a troubled young man who made a terrible decision that will haunt him and his family forever. 5 lives have been senselessly and needlessly ended. Ruining one more without trying to get to the bottom of what really happened and, more importantly, why, would be equally tragic. Mental evaluations would slow court proceedings, and within 6 months of his initial incarceration, Nehemiah had a working diagnosis of psychosis, dissociative disorder, and post-traumatic stress. He began medication, and his aunt Regina Griego, who had become his guardian, said in an interview that he finally had a full range of emotions. He would later be diagnosed as schizoaffective, a disorder in which one suffers a combination of mood disorder symptoms like depression and mania in conjunction with schizophrenia and psychosis. He was receiving treatment at Sequoia Adolescent Treatment Facility for 1.5 years before he pled guilty to all charges in October of 2015. It would be determined in February of 2016 that Nehemiah was receptive to juvenile treatment and was to be sentenced as a juvenile. He was going to be released at 21. The state appealed this decision. His attorneys argued that he was an abused child, whose malnourishment and neglect and severe beatings as a younger child left him with traumatic brain injuries and cognitive impairment. They said he missed his family and showed frequent remorse and sadness regarding his actions. Just a few months later, in June, a criminal complaint was filed against a 35-year-old psychiatric technician who worked at the Sequoia Adolescent Treatment Facility. The pair had allegedly begun carrying on a romantic relationship beginning in the fall of 2014, when Nehemiah was just 16 years old. The affair carried on past Nehemiah's transfer, and they continued to keep in contact through letters. Family members reported the situation to authorities when they were made aware in March of 2016. She was fired and charged with sexual conduct with a minor by a person in a position of authority. As Nehemiah's 21st birthday on March 20th, 2018 approached, the state filed that appeal to overturn the juvenile sentence. A hearing just before his birthday determined he would remain in custody until the appeal of his juvenile sentence was concluded. Following his birthday, he was moved to adult jail. While being held at Bernalillo County Metropolitan Detention Center, it was reported that on May 7, 2018, Nehemiah was caught on video engaging in a sex act with another inmate. Both were housed in the psychiatric acute care unit, and though the act did not appear forced, the other inmate was considered developmentally disabled, and the incident was considered sexual assault. Nehemiah was placed in solitary, and the witness was granted an order of protection for his own safety. Over 36 instances of threats being made were also included in his file, although none were substantiated enough to result in charges. Then, in September 2018, KOAT Channel 7 gained access to over 300 of Nehemiah's prison phone calls. It was made public that he had begun a relationship with a woman 22 years older than him. Here are some snippets from conversations he had with his girlfriend from January to September of 2018 while he was waiting for his December hearing.
What is that? Like an alarm or something?
Yeah, fire alarm.
Oh.
Yeah, it comes on with people start smoking pot and shit. So.
Maybe there's a fire and you get to go outside and I'll come out there and pick you up. I can't wait till you get the pictures. I'd like to know what you think.
I can't wait to get the pictures to you. I've been kind of anxious.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you. So when I signed my paper today or filled it out for you, I put my last name as Griego.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Well then. Welcome to the family.
I'm going to get me a little Mrs. Claus outfit. Oh, we're going to have fun. I hope you get out for Christmas or before Christmas.
Well, that's cool.
All right. Okay. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Love you.
I love you so much, baby. I'll talk to you later. Have sweet dreams. Hi, gorgeous.
Oh, beautiful.
My sweet letters. I just love you that much.
Nice too, baby. I really do.
You make me so happy.
Makes me happy.
You make my heart so full and just give me butterflies and other things.
Oh, but during the summer we had to do PT. The heat. We didn't wear jackets or none, but we had the rest of our gear on and ran.
Now, your dad made you do this?
Hell yeah, I mean, during the summer, PT, we run like 4 miles at the least.
Wow. I gotta go, so can you call me later?
I'll try, yeah.
Okay. I'll talk to you later then, okay? All right, I love you.
Love you, bye. They can't hold me forever, obviously. And if I have stuff on my case again, I mean, I think I have a good chance in at least a year or two.
I hope so.
I mean, it seems like forever, but to me, it's kind of short. I want to make sure everything's settled with them first.
Yeah, of course.
Family comes first. It'll be interesting to like introduce you to like the rest of my like aunts and uncles and stuff. Tell us like a God fan, God's kind or something. So if I love him or not, but when you had a few moments, I guess I'm still confused about my dad issue. I mean, I love the guy, but at the same time I don't.
I think I just got a call from like the most gorgeous man ever. The man who totally melts my heart. So I guess when you get out, we'll have to go shopping so we can get that flannel shirt for you.
I'll find some work.
If you get out in December, we can't really go to, I mean, we could go to San Antonio, but it's not going to be like this great that time of year. And a nice little cabin and fire, make love on the floor, light a fire.
Yeah, I can't wait to get out. Or if I do.
I know, I can't wait for you to either.
We're going to have a blast, that's for sure.
You definitely stimulate this old lady.
That's the only old lady I plan to stimulate.
Good.
The hearing to determine his sentence finally began December 8th of 2018. Caseworkers from the New Mexico Children, Youth, and Family Division testified that Nehemiah routinely made racist comments and had anger issues. Other testimony included that of responding officers, some of whom became emotional as they spoke. During the proceedings, Nehemiah's 43-year-old girlfriend had this to say to Channel 7.
He has dimples, and just his eyes light up, and he's a good conversationalist. I went out to visit him at MDC right after he got moved out there. Basically for support, to let him know that, he wasn't by himself. I'm deeply in love with him. I don't know how else to put it. And that's what I tell my family too. I'm sure if he could take that day back, he would. He does miss his family. He's told me he misses his family. From what I understand, there was a lot of abuse in the home. And they were, I don't want to say poor, really, but I guess in a sense they were. He has no intentions of harming anyone, including his own family, his sisters that are left.
Then halfway through the December hearing, Children's Court Judge John A. Romero recused himself after it was determined that he had had unauthorized contact with a juror. The case was reassigned, but the second judge recused herself within 24 hours. The case next landed on the docket of Judge Alyssa Hart. If sentenced as a juvenile, Nehemiah could be released. If sentenced as an adult, he faced 120 years behind bars. The hearing reconvened in August 2019, with Judge Hart determining that Nehemiah was not rehabilitated, was no longer able to be rehabilitated under the juvenile court system, and that she would sentence him as an adult. That hearing took place on October 15, 2019, with the prosecution seeking life in prison. Some of the older Griego daughters emotionally addressed the court, saying they feared for their safety should their brother be released. Older sister Vanessa had told KOAT News this.
I don't think 5 years is enough for anyone, whether it's him or anybody else. I mean, he took 5 lives, and that's kind of a lot to deal with, just mentally.
The defense was seeking some creative sentencing, given the fact that all parties agreed that Nehemiah needed continued mental health intervention. No one expected rehabilitation